probably just giggle at me. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a really bad start. Welcome back to the channel. This week we're spending a whole month in the garden from June 1st to June 30th. I want to show what it looks like in an Alaskan garden for a whole month. We'll see how much progress we make and how much progress we don't make. I've got about half of my hugelkultur, I think that's how you say it, bed ready to plant. So I'm going to go ahead and get that half planted while little man takes a nap on me. And I've got the seed potatoes all cut. I'm not even sure what they all are at this point, but I've got about 40 of those that will be ready to go in the ground as soon as they've dried for a little while. Then I've got a little bit more dirt work to do, but I think I can get a few things out of the greenhouse today. Clean a lot of things, buddy. Look at my first things in the garden.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Isn't it?
That's a little more exciting than stuff in a 5-gallon bucket.
I know. No.
I think you need a dog fence.
That's partially what the moose fence is. Go. One. Okay, so I have a bunch of seeds I want to do. Spinach from Miss Bethany. Some mustard. Oh, some lettuce from Miss Bethany. Oh, geez. Seen people talk about chaos gardening, and that is just my middle freaking name. I'm all for it. See, now I don't even know where anything is. I think like here. Oh, spinach seeds are weird. This is still gonna be kind of chaotic. Just gonna do a whole bunch of mustard over here. It's really satisfying to just go crazy. Can't tell if he's happy or mad. You've got your mom's onions on top here. This is cabbage. Some strawberries. And then the cauliflower's all on this side. We'll see how it does, huh?
Yeah, it looks good. What are you gonna do with all this other space?
I don't know. Hugelkultur bed. What do you think?
Well, it looks good. I'm no garden expert, but...
Me neither. Basically, I got all of my strawberries planted. 2 are in a container, 2 are in my hugelkultur bed. I'm just going to start calling it the big bed because I'm really tired of that word because I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But I think I'll start with planting some potatoes. I let those dry for 24 hours. It did rain last night, not on them, but the humidity was probably high, so they could probably dry for longer, but I just need to get them in the ground at this point. maybe you want to be in the wrap today, huh? We can probably do that. Let's see what I can get done though. Now that they're in fresh soil. I don't know if I can hold you and pick this one up. Will you give me a second? I need you to remember that this is the Polar Beauty tomato. Pot has holes in the bottom, so it's loud. I'm dropping. You are the peppers. You decide. You decide. Get the peppers. Get them. Get them. Good job. Ooh. Mosquito. Get out of here. Did you know mosquitoes are like one of the #1 pollinators? Now you do. This is the asparagus I started, which hasn't popped yet, so let's hope it still will. I got peppers, tomatoes, and a cucumber in here. So the big ones have been transplanted into some buckets. So, oh no, not again. I set up this little like water barrel dealio that we use the camper awning where it drips down in a low spot to get water. It's just a trash can that never was used for anything else, and you can see got 3 holes here and 3 holes there. So the idea is that these seeds will lay in the low spot, which they kind of do, and just fills up with water. Does this look right?
Huh? I think you want it the other way.
On the other side, so that it doesn't.
At least that was my thought in designing it. If you're going to pull against it, and this will keep it from.
Huh? Well, beats the heck out of
Here's the
bending over the pile.
your cover.
Oh, thank you. Alright, see what I can get done while he sleeps. We have a ton of these dead spruce that we cut throughout the winter and spring pretty much, that I plan on peeling and turning into a moose fence for the garden. We also will probably be using some for things like a woodshed, and just might as well use the wood we have on our property. It'll save a lot of money. Even though it is a good amount of work, it should be worth it in the end. Everyone knows how much lumber costs right now. Probably burn the ends of them that are going to go in the ground, because that'll further preserve it. And then we've got a bunch of that really cheap stain we bought. I might go ahead and use it to just protect our wood, because I mean, at the end of the day, we'll replace it someday, but hopefully they last, you know, a good 5 years at least would be really nice. Looks like I've got some potato onions sprouting. This is my happy pumpkin. Getting bigger and bigger. Marigolds are looking good. The pumpkin's doing a little something. Still not much, but I don't know what. This is a head lettuce that I bought
at, I don't know, at the hardware store greenhouse, and it's looking sketchy, but my leaf lettuce looks, I think, relatively happy, except this guy. I don't know what's going on there. If you're a lettuce expert, let me know. Onions on top are happy. These guys were losing these leaves anyway. I should just probably go ahead and get them gone. You're kind of sticking out a little bit there, buddy. Still learning, still a work in progress. Whoa, slow down. We'll watch where you're stepping. Go on, go away. Oh, you. Oh, you broke that one. Dang it. Oh. Need to get that fence up. I didn't water because we were supposed to get close to an inch of rain over the past couple days, but we didn't get that rain. So I wonder if some of these things are a little mad because I was trying not to overwater by waiting for the rain. Levi peeled a little bit for my moose fence today, which is great because it is so much work to peel. And clearly by the dogs, I need to get a fence up.
I lopped so much pond from our cabin. It was camouflage.
Wow, that looks really good.
Yeah, there was all blueberries in there. I left the alders. I think they're alders. They're blueberries.
Oh yeah.
There's a big crow.
No, that's a juvenile eagle.
Is it? Yeah, you're right.
God, there's so much junk over there. Laid over spruce.
Oh yeah.
I think I got a bunch more to go, but
Yeah, but it looks great.
But I'll get those other dead ones out of the way. That way it can, you know, get this all lopped. It'll be easier to clean it up.
The rain catcher trash can is totally full, so I will get it poured into this guy and this bucket so that when we get more rain tonight, it will continue to catch it. But it works so well. I think we got probably around a half an inch of rain yesterday. My next few moose fence logs are absolutely covered in branches because we just didn't clean them up very well. So I'm going to get them cleaned up while Henry's napping and far away from the noise.
Levi helped me get everything completely marked for our posts. I have him all weekend because Levi's dad is going deep sea fishing this weekend. So I have Levi all weekend to help me get the moose fence started. We're hoping to at least get the posts in the ground, so that's why I'm trying to get as many logs peeled as I can. I have some head lettuce that isn't doing so well. It's kind of flopping all over the place. I don't know enough to know what's going on with it. We don't have service for me to over Google it. I did get a soil tester over here and everything looks really great that way. So right now it's just kind of keeping everything watered and letting it all do its thing. I've got so much peeling to do though, so that's more my job right now. Thank you. Outside of the orange line, sir. Mosquitoes are out, but Henry is taking his morning nap, and frankly, I think I'd rather die than wake him up by getting a long sleeve shirt. Maybe I'll put on a coat, but I moved to Alaska. I gotta get a little bit used to him.
We're gonna burn the bottom of these posts. Really don't know much about what it's supposed to do for preservation. I've just seen a lot of places where people have done it to help preserve the logs, but we don't have internet here, so I can't really research it and figure out all the specifics to tell you. So we're gonna wing it, burn them a little bit, get them charred up, and then just on the end that we're sticking in the ground. And I guess that'll be the test of time if it helps preserve it or not. I chose to embrace it.
Gus, don't do it.
I'm a, you know, for the post hole.
I forgot we had one of those. Digging up those prehistoric mosquitoes. Okay, put all the dogs up because they're all under attack too. And they got me a shirt. But it's warm out, so it's kind of unfortunate. I'm gonna have a black eye. It's about 2 feet gravel, and Levi wants me to get these to 30 inches. We'll see. It's hard to dig that cobble out, but He's the boss, you know. Yeah!
Digging holes up here is so much easier than what we're used to in Colorado. I only have 2 left to do. I do need to get them a little bit deeper, but what I wanted to do was get all of the clay topsoil into a pile, and then once I get down to that cobble, gravel, I'm going to do a different pile for that to use for backfilling. Peeling is pretty much the hardest part, so we'll get back to peeling, and we should get this moose fence up at some point. This has got a lot of roots right here. This isn't a cleaned out spot like everywhere else.
I think that's gonna work.
I think 7 feet. You're about 6 feet tall. I believe it's right around 4 p.m. The sun, kind of keeping an eye on where it's hitting. So we are talking here and there about some more trees going, but where I want to put my greenhouse, oh, scary. It's officially had nut season. It's June 10th. And the mosquitoes are out in full force. It's kind of a bummer because it kind of traps me inside a little bit more. Henry can obviously be in his pack and play with the mosquito net on, but the moment he wants to be held or nursed or anything, we have to go inside anyway. So I'm kind of today just coming out while he's sleeping and trying to get something done. Garden's looking pretty good. My first potato is popping. The guys are back at work, but I am going to work on peeling. We have 3 more logs to peel, and
That'll give us all of our posts. Then we just got to get some gravel to backfill and we can start working on rails.
Oh, that's a heavy girl.
Henry is out and I am going to take as much advantage of it as I can. The mosquitoes actually right this minute don't seem too bad, but I'm testing the head net first because they get really nasty in the garden really fast. But I've got a lot to do still in the garden. I'm going to get stuff in the greenhouse watered, and mainly I'm going to replant my lettuce out of this hugelkultur bed because it is so unhappy. I don't know what's going on with it because the soil pH is perfect, but it doesn't like it, so it's just gonna get moved and hopefully save it. Then if Henry stays asleep for long enough, I will continue peeling logs. We haven't really made any progress on the fence because it's been back to work on the cabin and we did our town trip. I haven't had a single mosquito buzz my face, so I'm gonna try it. Cucumber is mad, really mad. Probably needs water. So what I think the problem here is, this bed is made up of roots and all kinds of crazy stuff from the stump root ball, and I think, I could be wrong on this, but I almost think there's too much drainage for these. I don't know. I didn't do the thickest layer of soil over the top of all of the stuff that's supposed to help add nutrition and break down. So I don't know if it's draining too well and the lettuce isn't getting as much water as it should be. Maybe it's too much sun. I don't really know, but I'd really hate to lose these plants. And right now I'm losing them. So I'm gonna get them pulled and get them into containers. By the way, there's totally Devil's Club coming up in this because it's the devil. This is potting mix from last year's container garden. So this is what I did last year, is I mixed the natural clay with the potting mix, and things grew pretty well with kind of a 50-50 mix. So we're gonna try that with this lettuce. I was going to bring in some soil, thinking 1 each or 2 per. I was gonna bring in some soil, but then I saw a neighbor's garden that's super beautiful, and he was like, no, I've never brought in soil, this is all just composted, you know, with stuff that was here. And now I'm determined to not bring in any soil and just compost all my own. So hopefully that does better. Amazing how fast you can work when you have a baby that might wake up at any time. I am thinking about pulling out at least my cabbage from the big bed also, because the leaves are all purple still. Some of the cauliflower looks happy, some of it doesn't. So I might ditch the big bed. The onions are super happy. Maybe I'll just throw more onions in it, but not super pleased with how it's doing. So The strawberries are pretty happy too, so maybe I'm just putting the wrong plants in it. Right, it is June 17th now, I believe, and the garden is popping. Let's check it out. These are my onions from the neighbor. Absolutely killing it. Those potato onions. Happy marigolds. Little pumpkin is still a little pumpkin. He is just now starting to get that third leaf, but still not killing it. Medium-sized pumpkin. Getting a little better. Some more marigolds. The big pumpkin is just a happy fella, so that's awesome. We've got some strawberries. The lettuce does seem to be doing a little bit better out of the big bed. We'll see if that kind of continues. I pulled out 2 cabbage and 1 cauliflower from the big bed because it is also not happy. So I pulled those out and put them in a spot where I plan on another row being. So I just dug up specifically where I put them so I could get them done. But that's it for now. Otherwise, everything else is going to stay there. I did put some marigolds in there just because I don't really have anywhere else to put them right now. But I do think I've decided to eradicate the hugel culture, the big bed, next year. I'm not really happy with how things are growing in it. The strawberries are doing good. The onions are doing okay. It takes up too much space though to be struggling this bad, I think. When I water it, water just kind of pours down it, which would be okay, but I don't want to overwater the onions on top. Just get everything else water. And I don't think I have a thick enough soil layer on it, but I just think it takes up too much space for how it's doing. So I think this fall I'm going to rip it out, and I think I'm just going to put straight up rows throughout the whole garden. I am going to be starting an asparagus bed because my asparagus is starting to pop, which is really exciting, and get some berry bushes planted though. Check it out, buddy. It's garden time. Ooh, that's the other thing, is the rhubarb's doing pretty good. It's growing. I bet it's 3/4 of a Henry now. We'll have to pull them out one of these days if mosquitoes aren't bad in check, but oh, I just stepped on my marigold. What a dumbo. So what I've been doing here is I'm just taking this dirt from what was the root ball of that tree we cut in the middle of the garden, and it is just so well composted already, really great dirt, and I am just screening it to get all these chunks out. I'm mixing into where I want to put the berry bushes and where I'm planting things, just because it's pretty much already compost, so it'll mix in well with our clay and help keep the drainage real nice, and all that stuff just goes back in the pile. I don't remember exactly what these berries are. I was just asking the neighbor. She gave them to us last year, and she's not even sure. I'm pretty sure they're either June berries or honeyberries. We'll find out, probably not this year, but there's 2 of them because there's like a male and female. They've got to cross-pollinate, or there's 2 different species that, there's a mosquito. Or there's 2 different species that cross-pollinate, maybe? I can't remember. I'll find out. She'll probably remember next time I talk to her. But here we go. She also said, because I told her as I haven't planted these yet, because I haven't decided where to put them, and she said that she's moved them before, so if I decide to move them, don't worry about it. So, oh, berry blue. Well, she'll probably know what that means better than I will. So I think I'm going to do an asparagus bed, kind of to my left here, and then all raised rows, get rid of that big bed. I'm just not happy with it at this point. And then these 2 berry bushes will be in here. I think we have these big spots along the driveway that are wide open from digging the gravel out and then refilling them when we did our driveway. So what I'm thinking about doing with those big open spots is letting raspberries go crazy, because we love raspberries, but I don't really have the space to grow as many raspberries as I want to in the fenced area. So if I just have big patches along the driveway, just kind of let them explode, then there should be plenty of raspberries for us and the birds. Hi guys. Alright, I have a little fertilizer, a little water, and the berries are in. That is so exciting. This is what I'm thinking about doing for an asparagus bed. We would eat a lot of asparagus if we had access to it. And my asparagus that I planted from seed from Bethany, thank you so much for that. It's actually coming up. I really didn't have high hopes for it, but it's coming up. So I think I'm gonna do this, probably bring soil in for it so that it's just perfect, because it would honestly take me forever to screen my own soil. We haven't gotten any rain in a good 4 days probably, so it's just really dry. We don't want to start the fire to burn the ends when it's this dry. So the moose fence is a continued work in progress. I knew it would go slow. Obviously the cabin is Levi's #1 priority, and Henry is my #1 priority, so sometimes the garden and the fence and all that hits the back burner this year. Super quick garden update. I lost a lot of my morning to shooting a porcupine.
You ain't got some in the roof of his mouth.
It's up here. I will link that video up here if you want to check it out, but if you don't, here's a quick garden update. I wanted to get out here because I've got 2 strawberries that are ready, so I know it's only 2 strawberries, but I'm pretty excited about it. Guys, can we get out of the garden? Go on. Gosh, you guys are hard on things. Go on, go on, go on, go on. Out. Thank you. That's good stuff. Quick potato count, and then I gotta get back inside to the baby. 32 out of, I'm pretty sure I planted 34 potatoes are popping, so it's really exciting. Garden update is June 24th and things are popping. Potatoes pretty much across the border coming up. As of yesterday, I was only missing 1 out of 36 sprouting. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to check and see if that last one's coming in this morning. I picked up a sage plant at Lowe's that was half off because it was pretty sad, and it's already looking better. Lettuce is still really questionable. I only have about 1 doing well. The head lettuce just isn't doing what I think head lettuce should be doing. I don't know what's up with that. Neighbor's onions are getting really close to being done and ready for me to get some green onions off of, so that's kind of cool. The berry bushes I planted are happy. The cabbages and cauliflowers that I moved out of the big bed haven't really done much. They aren't dying anymore, but that's not exactly perfect either. My big pumpkin is killing it still. Little pumpkin is getting a little bit happier. Medium pumpkin a little bit happier. Onions in the big bed are okay. If I get the time, I think I'm gonna get the big bed out of here. Everything in the greenhouse is doing super well. I've got a tomato getting some flowers. It's been really hot this week. We've been easily in the 80s a couple days now, but I think we're supposed to start cooling off again, so I'll probably start covering the greenhouse back up at least overnight. The asparagus is getting pretty tall. I got some dirt in from the store. I tried to go get dirt in a truckload for like the 4th time, and for like the 4th time no one was there, which is too bad because it would be so much cheaper that way. So I ended up buying stupid expensive soil mix at the store, but it is what it is. I got the asparagus bed ready. Strawberries are really happy. I've been getting like a couple strawberries a day, maybe every other day. I also picked up a raspberry bush at the store that I'm going to plant in the middle of one of our big open patches on the driveway. I've been trying to think of a good way to keep the dogs out of this before I put the asparagus in. I think these were Levi's parents in the basement. They didn't want them, which is understandable. They're such small pieces. That should deter dogs from deciding that's a really comfy spot to lay. So understandably, it would be a very comfy spot to lay. But I'd be pretty sad if I lost my asparagus. Awesome. Okay, I have enough asparagus to fill the whole bed if I spread them out 18 inches. So I have 12 popping. Let's get some asparagus in. This is super exciting. Is that joy getting you? I should really steal a tape measure from the guys, but I'm not going to. So, let's just go for right here, and like right here. So the same thing over here, about the same, about the same, about the same. This is girl math. Good enough for me. Oh geez. Asparagus! Oops. Okay, well that wasn't really my plan, but it works. Hopefully we all survive this moment. Okay, what do I got? There is 2, 7, 12. Okay. There we go. Alright, that's 12 asparagus planted. There's at least 2 that I'm not confident about. This little guy lost his top, and that little guy just doesn't have a lot of root. Hopefully in 3 years we'll have some asparagus spears out of this. I'm gonna give this tomato kind of something to lean on. Maybe I'll get some tomato cages when we're in town next, because I don't know that I'm gonna get any kind of big greenhouse up for all this stuff this year. I think I can pretty easily extend this greenhouse up and actually bring some more plastic down to keep it warmer, especially as we get into monsoon season. Isn't going to be as warm as right now. I don't think I'll have a good enough way to run strings necessarily. So when we did our driveway, like I said before, they dug all the gravel off of our property along where the driveway is. It's about 2-ish feet down to gravel here. So we've got these big open spots that we buried, like stumps and trees and branches and all kinds of stuff. You're never really going to build on top of it because it's always going to be soft with all of the gravel gone. But I'm thinking, while this is a big open space, plant a raspberry right in the middle of it and let the raspberries just take over these big spaces. I'll pull all these ferns and stuff, keep it pretty low maintenance, but then I can have a raspberry patch where if birds come get some, it's no big deal. I just want like a ton of raspberries going on. Probably get some more, but this one was kind of expensive from the hardware store. So I'll see if I can find some free ones throughout the summer. Worst case, she said next May I can come dig as many raspberries as I want. Oh geez. That's some nice broke up soil. Oh geez. Oh no. Oh, I didn't break it. Oh, I broke it. Oh. Becca K. Wonder if I tape that, if it'll graft. That's not a good start. Alright, well, let's get it in. Probably just giggle at me. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a really bad start. Okay, I'm gonna put that in. Why? I'll put that in water and get roots out of it, and we'll just put it in a different spot. Becca, the heavy hand. I'm thinking we'll put that in water too and see if I can get new roots out of it, maybe. Should slow down. Well, I guess. What you gonna do besides live and learn? There we go. Ah. Alright, now we just cross our fingers. And probably still buy another one just because. Go on. Monsters. I gotta get this fence done. We have a strawberry thief among us. Those were still on the plant. I don't know what would have taken them. They're perfectly ripe. Maybe some little mice. It's possible. Can you see these flies buzzing me? God, they're worse than mosquitoes. Apparently, it's a thing up here for greenhouses to close come around July 1st, which I thought was kind of weird. At least our local hardware store told me today that they're going to be wrapping up the greenhouse before the 1st. So I got 2 cheap pepper plants. One's in Anaheim, I think that's how you say that, and a Hungarian yellow wax, which I know one of my seeds is a yellow wax pepper, but got those for 40% off because they're not horribly happy. I am going to sacrifice one of the containers that has lettuce in it because my head lettuce is just not forming a head and I don't know why. So I'm going to sacrifice some of that lettuce and get these peppers into just that slightly bigger container. So we did decide on a final resting plan for the moose fence this year because it's really, I hate sacrificing these, but I don't have any more soil. It takes me a while to, I can never spit this word out. It takes me a while to screen soil that I have. Maybe this just isn't loose enough of dirt. I don't know why the lettuce is mad. It looks much better than when it was in the big bed, but it's still just, I mean, it has been like a month and I have no head lettuce. It's not creating a head, so I don't know. Maybe I'll chop this up and we'll throw some ranch on it tonight, but we're just gonna give these peppers a little bit more space because it takes me a long time to screen the soil I have and I don't have it in me. The moose fence. The moose fence, we are going to get the posts set and we're going to get just a cheaper chicken wire to wrap all the way around the bottom to deter the dogs because at this point they're kind of my biggest problem minus whatever bird or mouse or something just ate my strawberries. Hungarian wax. So we'll wrap it in some kind of cheap chicken wire, just 3-4 feet up. Come up with just a really easy little makeshift gate, and we're gonna call that good for the moment on the moose fence. I would really like to get the whole thing done, but we are just really looking at getting that cabin done before the summer gets away from us. We've been really lucky on weather, but we do have a week of straight rain on the way. Anaheim, chilly. The cabin is just to a point where I can start helping make a bit of a difference, and Levi just doesn't have the time at the end of the day to overly help me with the moose fence. So it's kind of just at that point in the summer. It's almost July 1st, something's got to give. In all reality, a woodshed for our firewood is going to be more important than a garden. Getting the cabin stained is more important. So while I will continue to play in my garden, the moose fence is going to get to a stopping point, and then it's going to just be paused maybe until spring. Maybe we'll magically end up with more time towards the end of the summer than we'll think we'll have, but as of right now we're just looking at a dip netting trip that's going to take up a few days plus processing, and on top of building the cabin we kind of need all hands on deck over there. So I'm going to do what I can to see if I can help over there and stop pulling Levi away from the cabin for things over here. So far we've been pretty in the clear. I think it helps we make a ton of noise every day. Today is one of our quieter days here, so I'm not overly worried, but I do know it's obviously something that is needed up here. Posts, because between these two posts is where I want to do this year's mini greenhouse for the tomatoes and stuff. So if I could at least get these two set, that would help a lot. Oh, right there, I see it.
Lean out.
Yeah, all that apple came out of these posters, so.
Okay. Let's go out that way with the top. That's the problem with the smaller diameter
Hard to
holes
wiggle it.
being dug, because you might have one rock that blocks that. You know,
Yeah.
I was telling you to make them bigger,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Well,
just,
I thought smaller meant less gravel.
it does, but
See, I'm right.
there's problems with that.
You're wrong.
It's just a dadgum moose fence.
Yes.
I've never even seen a moose over here. I don't know what you're talking.
There were moose tracks in the garden the other day. You pointed them out to me. I probably never would have seen them.
That's blasphemy. Whoa.
I could have hit you with that and I didn't.
You think you could. But
I can't hear you. You want to go it the other way?
okay, let's stay right there.
Ow.
Thank you.
Because I can't be bothered. I can move some stuff here.
Great. I'm running something over if you're going.
Can I come out? There's flies out here. There's flies out here. Alright. Set your paw.
Right.
Well, why in the garden? Why do you have to lay in the garden? Come here. Come here and I'll get the flies off you. Here, here, here.
Here. Grab a rock.
Make sure he doesn't. Make sure it's too big for him to choke
Grab
on.
one. Grab one.
He's gonna knock a tooth out. You don't even have teeth yet. It's June 30th. Final update on the garden. Everything is pretty happy. Asparagus is doing well. That's an important one for me. Potatoes are pretty happy. Onions aren't happy. Cabbage, cauliflower, and onions are probably my 3 that aren't, and lettuce, 4 that are just not doing great. At the end of the month, I think I've learned quite a bit. The hugelkultur bed is going to be torn out before next year. I'm just not happy with how anything is doing in it, except for the strawberries are happy, but that's not enough for me to keep it. I'm not going to overanalyze it. I'm just getting rid of it. Been loving the miniature greenhouse. I am going to be updating to a temporary big greenhouse so that the tomatoes and everything can just keep growing. But for starting seeds and getting them moved outside and everything, I think the mini greenhouse is going to stick around. The potatoes are happy. They are showing me a little bit of what is getting better sun, I think, versus what is in the shade more. The potatoes that are in more sun are just a lot happier than the ones that are in some obvious morning time shade. So that tells me a lot about maybe changing up how I plant those rows in the future. The rhubarb is happy. It could use a little more water, I think, which is on the way. We're supposed to have a really rainy week this week. Overall, I think I'm pretty happy with how the garden's doing. I don't have any big juicy tomatoes to show you. We have had a few strawberries, but also a strawberry thief. The moose fence posts are set. At least all but 2, I believe, are left to go. We just need a little bit of rain so we can burn the bases of those. We did set one post yesterday that we hadn't burned the base, but we had peeled, and that'll be kind of interesting to see. Be a good test in 5 years if the ones that are burnt at the bottom are doing better and that one's rotting. Then we'll know that burning them actually works. So we're just gonna wrap the moose fence with chicken wire, keep the dogs out of it, hopefully deter a moose. If a moose gets to stuff, a moose gets to stuff. I've got to transition a little bit into the cabin to help Levi. Overall, pretty happy with it. It takes a lot of water to water it on these drier weeks, but the rain's coming, so hopefully it can survive probably a good week without sun. Are you gonna get him?
Yeah, which one do you want to set it on?
I don't care. Why don't we put it on the post? It got something off of the container and the big bed, so the post would be a good option.
Bolt.
I would die if it was bolt. That'd be hilarious.
Oh God. Oh, that's bad. There's a worm. It scared the hell out of me. I'm not scared of worms. Hi, buddy. Are you dead? Did I kill you? Henry likes it. I need potato. I have so much to do. Good job. Just kidding. I wasn't gonna drop you. Not on camera, at least. What are you doing? Why are you exploding? Oh my goodness. Fucking skeetered, Denry. It's about 2 feet to gravel. Huh? Talking to the GoPro. God, flies. They just circle me.